Undead Unluck.
Dead Road.
Is that what it's called? Is that what this chapter is called?
No, but that's the name of one of his moves.
Oh, Dead Road.
It's real cool.
Dead Road.
Yeah, you'll see. Well, you'll see when it comes.
Yeah. Anyway, this is Undead Unluck chapter 82. Take a look. Last we left off with Undead Unluck. Billy and Andy were going at it while Yuko climbed to the top of the tower to confront the UMA known as Spring. And Billy has 6 powers that he uses in a revolver-esque way.
Gangsta.
Very cool. I'll give him one of these.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta Time.
One of his abilities actually goes way back to the beginning of the series where Gina had the ability of Unchange. And he had Andy on the ropes just kind of like frozen in unchanging air until I guess Andy was able to pull off his skin and escape the unchangeable air. And it's real gross. And guess what? It doesn't get any less gross. I don't know how they're going to make this into an anime, but yeah, he's sitting there.
Be great.
There's muscle just exposed underneath, and he just blows up his fucking body with blood. And he escapes into a building somehow, not just into a building, but to like the 3rd floor of a building. And I'm like, damn, that's fast. So he's just sitting there thinking, about his abilities and is like, well, I can't afford to make another mistake. And he thinks of all the abilities that he's had. And he starts to rip off his own skin continuously. And I'm like, all right, I get it, but it's gross. And it feels like I can't even. And he starts to think about how negation abilities get stronger as your mind develops. The further you get along in your journey as a person, whether it's confronting your past and your present, your negation and your understanding of your own ability grows stronger. So, you know what? He's like, I'll show you the potential that negators hold. And he comes out as a fully blood figure, like he's walking blood.
So cool.
It is pretty metal as hell.
You read The Gray Man, right?
Yes, I think I stopped around the 15th issue volume. They stopped coming out here for a while. They started coming out here now. Again,
dude, Crowley. Do you remember Crowley?
Oh yeah,
vampire dude.
Yo,
bro, he gets into a fight at some point.
I know exactly what you're talking
about. For The
about.
Gray Man, sorry. I don't know if you remember, but bro,
I know, I remember because
I forget who he fights against, but yo, he basically gets put in a fucking coffin, like he gets bodied, like, but then the nigga like he basically uses all the blood in his body and forms himself and fights, and that shit was so crazy,
dude.
Like they find out that the innocence wasn't in his teeth, but it was actually in his blood.
Yo,
so he was able to fight just as a blood person. That shit was. That's what this reminds me of. As soon as I seen that, I was like, wow.
You know what?
But it was so epic in The Gray Man because it was just pure willpower. He was like, I don't give a fuck about nothing else. I'm not losing.
That was such a well-written fight. It's ingrained in my mind because we read that in high school. And when we read that, we were losing our minds. We were out
It was so epic.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't supposed to be that gangster, man. Because they just ran. He was just like a new side. Even One Piece wasn't that gangster, but they knew when they got a new character. Like,
yeah, Crowley.
Crowley just put on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even in his arc or immediately right after. Just like when they got to the next like major thing, he just was he put on for his team.
Yeah, Crowley.
Yeah, respect to Crowley.
Crowley was pretty much instantly my favorite character in The Gray Man after that one. That was
he definitely was my favorite. Yeah.
I want to reread. They have all of The Gray Man on the app. I should read that again.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I gotta read it.
Oh yeah.
It gets to a point where it turns into like a monthly manga, and I don't know. You'll see.
I didn't read.
Maybe we'll talk about that.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to like talk about The Gray Man.
Yeah, I want to reread Gray Man. It was awesome.
We should do that. We should like try to catch up to it and maybe add it to the lineup. I don't know if they release it here though. That's the thing. I think they only release it in volumes here. but they don't put it out as chapters come out.
You would want to take it chapter by chapter?
No. We wouldn't cover it chapter by chapter, but I guess like if we find out that they release it on the app or whatever on Shonen Jump's website, we can cover it if it does.
Right. Okay, in its entirety. Okay. Well, anyway, back to
back to Undead Unluck. He's a full ass blood clone, and not only that, he just continues to spawn off more blood clones.
In the nastiest way.
Oh, it's really gross because he says that they're life-sized scabs. So I guess the front...
Essentially.
Yeah, he just like dries up the blood that is the front of the body into the scab-like thing. And every time like there's a defense put up by Billy, he clones himself with the blood and moves behind him where he's uncovered. Sheesh.
Right. And what's scabbing him up is when he gets hit by the Unchange. That's how, then he just rips right out of it. That's why it leaves a casing, because of the Unchange. Yeah. So, like, it just looks so crazy, man. It got less gross when he was just in this blood form, when he wasn't ripping his skin off. I didn't like that too much.
No, I wasn't a fan either. But yeah.
The name of the move, Dead Shadow.
Yeah. So cool.
Oh, then he hits him with another special move.
Yeah, he uses the Dead Road. And it doesn't really hurt Billy initially, but he knocks him into a river that like was nearby, and the water starts to like fill up the air barrier that he's created. So he has to get rid of Unchange and swim back to shore, where he meets fucking Andy already ready with his finger gun, with his spirit gun pointed. They have their guns drawn to each other. And, basically, he's just like, you should have left. He tells him what he should have done. He coaches him. He's like, yo,
right.
You should have kept Unchange active and fought underwater while choking. That's what I would have done, being undead. And he explains, he's like, you know what? And this is why you can't beat me, is that your powers, although you have access to 6 negations, you don't have the necessary experience and skill that comes with having them all your life and training with them and discovering new ways to use them, being creative with your abilities. You can only use them to a certain extent, and you can't beat experience, basically. And I think like he also maybe there's like a limitation in general that you can't use them to their max potential because you're not the inherent user of this negation.
Yeah, there's no way to. You know what I'm saying? Unless he goes through his own experiences using them in life.
Yeah.
But they just wouldn't affect him because he's controlling them in the first place. It's not the same. Yeah, that was a really interesting point. I like that. But that makes me wonder, man, what is his actual ability? It hasn't been revealed yet. And maybe he'll maybe he'll be able to replicate Uma abilities, or like the other.
I think it's exclusive
like
to
Summer or something.
I think it's exclusive to negations as opposed to.
Well, how could he upgrade it then? Aside from just getting more or making it like in a cool way.
I don't know. I mean, that's the question, I guess. Because like abilities in Undead Unluck are really creative and cerebral, so I wouldn't presume to be an expert on it.
Right, it'd be real hard to guess.
Yeah, but in any case, Billy just kind of like talks about how not all negators are strong as you. Some lose heart, some take their own lives. Ability users suffer more in proportion to the greatness of their ability, and there's no need for them to struggle. All weak negators need to do is live and keep being used by me. The only ones who should face God are the strong. Which is actually, I mean, it's kind of like, I get it. I get his like point. It's twisted, like it's not like it's not a good thing, but there's moments where you humanize a villain as not necessarily make their actions explainable or acceptable, but you see how they get to the logic. And the way he sees using other people's abilities is that, yeah, he uses people and all that stuff, but he takes the brunt. It's so he can take the big responsibility away from them, and they don't need to suffer at the hands of God, because he'll
like
use
a big
them.
brother.
Yeah, because he'll use their abilities to confront God for them, and I think that's what he was trying to say.
Yeah.
It's very cool. Big brother.
Damn, you've been on fire this episode. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
But the analysis, damn, I'm just a spectator. I'm witnessing this.
Yeah, I've been writing a lot. I'm getting in tune with this part of myself now.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man.
I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, tell us what you guys think. I could be... if I'm wrong, if you agree, please inflate my ego. I need it. I need it, please. But yeah, this is a pretty cool chapter, and but Andy says, like, agreed. But guess what? All of us, we are strong. If you think I'm lying, just look with your own eyes. And they look out into the city, and they notice that the cherry trees are wilting. And not just that, not really that, but they're collecting at the top of the tower. So at that point, they figured that, like, Fuko must have done something to really draw the attention of Spring. So at that moment, Andy cuts off his own head and is like, now let's do some blossom viewing. And he asks Billy to wrap him in Unchange, and he's like, what? Why? What's your game here? And he explains, like, I ain't going to be able to change you, but so we should take a look at Fuko together. I'm positive she'll be able to change her. As we get a big 2-page spread of Fuko confronting Spring. Spring is such a cool character design, by the way.
Right.
This 2-page spread is really cool. I really like it.
It is. It makes Fuko look really cool. But the hair, the clothed guy looks fucking terrified.
It is funny how Clothy's just like, fuck. But yeah, I mean, what a great chapter. The manga have all been great this week, honestly.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid week. It was fun.
Yeah, Undead Unluck is so fun. When it's like shooting, it's shooting, man. It's really fun and very enjoyable to read. And I can't wait to see how Fuko does it. Obviously, his Spring's powers are predicated on luck because of his whole dice rolling thing. Fuko,
they're gonna play a fucking game. They're gonna play some type of they're gonna play some Squid Games.
Yeah, they're gonna play some Squid Games out here.
There's some chance ones.
I'm very excited though.
With the marbles.
Yeah,